Last Tuesday, it was 83 degrees and spring was in full bloom. On Wednesday, it was hovering at 30 degrees with snow in the air. One day air conditioning, the next day the furnace. Welcome to the most confusing month of the year, March. Our everyday hot and cold lives work in a similar manner, leaving many of us constantly lukewarm. One day we're riding on cloud nine, and then life happens. One single event can spiral us into worry, anxiety, and possibly doubt. The bipolar tug of war rips our hearts in two, leaving us trapped between the dream of warmer weather and the reality of cold winter nights. This metaphor also symbolizes navigating career burnout. Most of us have been there or are currently sitting in the lukewarm month of March. One day we love our job, and the next we want to burn it all up. Should I quit or should I stick it out? This tug of war is real. Dreams and doubts go head to head. Promise succumbs to fear, creating a stalemate. Lukewarmness wins. Meanwhile, a greater purpose in the form of an inner voice is literally screaming to come out. But do we actually have the courage to go for it? In this episode, I will attempt to answer this question through the Burning Ladder story of Alan Levi, the author of Theo of Golden. After the break, we'll dive in. You are listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast with your host, Charleston Edwards. If this is your first time here, welcome. My goal is simple: to eradicate burnout and to bring harmony, purpose, and balance to this world, starting with the family. My hope is that this show and the story shared will provide encouragement and ideas that will be valuable to you on your journey to work-life freedom. So let's dive in to today's episode. Last week, I raved about the novel Theo of Golden, a fascinating story of an old man who found his purpose in life: to bless others through art. This is a life-changing book, so I wanted to know more. I looked up a few interviews of the author, Alan Levi, and like the book, I was mesmerized. Maybe Alan was Theo. Both men wear a halo. Alan, after writing Theo of Golden, stuck it away in a drawer. He had no intention of having the world admire his brilliance, his love for words. During the writing process, Alan gave up numerous times, only to return to the challenge of a difficult task. Never for anyone else, but for fulfilling his love for words. The tug of war of writing eventually led him to complete and publish his art with encouragement from his close network of friends. So, during the pandemic, Alan fine-tuned the book, and with no followers or fans and very little social presence, he self-published. 2 years later, in 2025, with no aspirations to be famous, his book found its way into Oprah's hands. The rest is history. A star was accidentally born. The world now knows Theo. The world also now knows Alan. One fictional, one real, both an inspiration. What is fascinating about Alan is that he too faced the tug of war between a career and a calling. Alan used to be a successful lawyer, working many hours and at the top of the ladder. He never admits to burnout, but one can sense that he wrestled with destiny and eventually won out because he pursued his calling in life. Alan decided to take a risk, walk away from a lucrative career, and become a songwriter and an author. When Alan burned his corporate ladder, per se, he set a new life mission based on his passion, and that is to use songs and words to initiate Godward thought. He also knew his primary audience would be people outside of his personal faith, those who may be looking for more hope and love in this very dark and crazy world. Alan's primary purpose was to love. His skill was the art of words. His calling was to put his purpose and skill into action. Alan's new life mission didn't necessarily negate his career, it clarified it. In the courtroom, on a stage, or in a book, Alan's purpose remains the same. Lastly, Alan gave up on the standard definition of success. Before selling a single book, he told his agent that it was already a success. The applause he sought came from above, not from his peers. After the book was launched, Alan was ready to return to the work in the court system, but that was not in the cards, especially when you're at the top of the charts of book sales. Alan's depiction of Theo has come full circle. Alan's purpose in life is also Theo's, to bless others through art. Many of us want nothing more than to fulfill our purpose in this life. But even before fulfilling a greater than ourselves type of task, we have the bigger task of actually knowing what we are here for. What is our purpose? This is a larger than life question that is often like a hidden treasure for most of us. But in my personal hypothesis, we all have a unique purpose, and all we have to do to find it is seek. I believe the purposes are also infinite in number. We all represent parts of a body that harmoniously work together in God's divine plan. This reason alone is good reason to never compare or judge others. We are all on a journey, and whether big or small, visible or invisible, every single person has a purpose. Our purpose is to love, appreciate, and do our part to strengthen the body. So if we are to know our own purpose, we should look at Alan's story once again from a high-level view. Alan's story of going from career to a calling started with him listening to that inner voice and not ignoring it. He asked God about that voice, and then he took action by starting to write. He ignored what the results could look like, aka careerism. He then made his calling intentional, about others, not himself, and used his natural skill set and interest to make art with words. Lastly, he ignored status and admiration, and he was fulfilled by doing the work. As a result, the rest of us have been blessed. We all have this same ability to do the work, to follow our unique call, to walk out of the cold season of doubt and fear and to spring ahead into a life of passion, presence, and purpose. To stop living in the lukewarm season and find the fire again for what we already know deep inside of what we were meant to do. Cold days may happen, but that does not mean the fire has to go out. When the dream of a deeper purpose nudges, don't ignore that voice. Seek it out. Get closer. Ask others to help you clarify what it's saying. As a friend reminded me recently, we only have one life to live. Let's make the most of it. Have a good week. Thank you for listening to the Work Life Eubiosis podcast, part of the Work Life resources created by Own Your 5 to 9. I hope that you have found encouragement and a few ideas to strengthen your journey to purpose, freedom, and balance. Have you overcome burnout and found a new way of life? Millions around the globe are still at the risk of burnout and losing it all. And your story may be the one that sparks not only a dream, but action. Visit ownyour5to9.com for more information and submit your story. While you're there, join the Work Life Eubiosis newsletter and receive additional resources weekly right to your inbox. If you enjoy this podcast, take time to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Share it with a friend or loved one. Remember, the most important organization in the world is the family. Let's do our part to strengthen it. Thank you for listening.